So quite a few countries have made some gangs, as well as, yeah, definitely the map is looking drastically different from the start of this campaign. Well, I guess technically the only country that made gangs back and got some more of their provinces that they started off with is Morocco. As we thought, Morocco forced, I guess they forced Portugal into a peace deal, and they completely kicked out Portugal from Northern Africa. That not only Morocco was that was Great Britain's help, and obviously Algeria and alliances had helped that. Unfortunately, Algeria themselves kind of got screwed. They didn't take any lands away from Portugal. However, they did kick, I think they removed 3 Italian provinces and vassal fed their vassal of Tunisia. So yes. Also, look at these alliances. Whoa, they had some crazy. They were allied to Spain and Germany, but they must have. I don't know if they just didn't decide to get up the alliance, if there was a rivalry, if the anger happened, if it was a war or what, but they have royal marriages with Spain and Germany, and that means that at some point these two nations were allied, and they're not anymore. The other drastic difference, well, I guess another change that happened over the map, is the Bosnians were taken back a little bit by the Hungarians. So Hungary called upon their ally of, I believe it was Poland. No. I don't know. I think it was Hungary. I thought it was Poland and Hungary. A bunch of people were at war with Bosnia, and I don't think they are at war with anybody else right now. Yeah, so they did lose one province here to Poland. Oh, there you go. So Poland getting Zeta. I'm not sure. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. And then Hungary ate away at 3 provinces from the north here. So yeah, Bosnia's not doing as well. The third change is, boom, Mongolia is gone, and the borders are looking really, really interesting here with a weakened Russia from the Siberian side, and then the Chinese are just, wow. It's just a huge blob. Crazy. This is actually like not that bad. Like this part of the map, like if you remove the subcontinent of India, this is looking like pretty clean borders. Everywhere else, not so much, but interesting to say the least. And then finally, the biggest changes that happened over the break was Brazil. Boom. Peru gained back most of their lands. So it was Mexico that took it first. Then Brazil took it from Mexico, and now Peru took it back. And they gained most of the lands, but not all of it, as well as they released Panama and Costa Rica. So this is a good thing for Mexico. However, they're still going to have to fight the Brazilians to get closer to the Costa Ricans. So we'll see how that goes. Brazil didn't take that big of a hit, but at the same time, they kind of did. It wasn't huge. It just kind of levels the playing field once again, and this should help them kind of stabilize. Remember, they hadn't been stable for they probably weren't stable for at least maybe half a century, or I'm sorry, half a decade. They were struggling to fight back the rebels, to rebuild their force limit, and it's now just, I think now that they lost a lot of the lands that they didn't have cored, that should help out quite a bit. So finally, there is a new war going on between Russia and they called in Armenia and India. They're going after. Then I apologize. I don't want to pronounce this one wrong, but they're going after this small nation here, and Turkey has joined in on their side. So this might be entertaining, actually, depending on how much India sends over. Now, if it was just Turkey versus Russia, that would be, I think, a lot more balanced, I guess, to say the least. But I don't know. I think that because India's involved, that's kind of the step that a little bit too far. Although most of the Indian regiments are already in kind of eastern India. They're off the coast here. None of them are in like Irani India, like modern day Iran. So, well, there's the 73 stack ready to go. Is Turkey okay? Well, yeah, they've got actually quite a bit large force. So if they just stay away from Russia and Armenia, which more than likely they will, I don't even know, how big is the Russian army? I don't think it's that big. I'm pretty sure they never really recovered for the most part. For the most part, ever since they've been losing all those wars and losing all these lands, I don't think they were ever fully able to ever get to the strength that they were beforehand. Yeah, I mean, they aren't definitely completely there, which has got to be scary for them. They've got to be very worried. But it's smart of them to go to war now, because you have a huge threat with China. As China continues to grow out here in Eastern Asia, I mean, they've got to do something, because these Chinese borders are finally looking cleared up. There are a lot of these smaller nations have been eaten away at. I don't even remember when that happened, but finally we have some very clean borders from China, and as well as just in Eastern Asian as a whole, it's very clean with Malaya and Japan. I mean, the Korean Peninsula is a little bit separated, but still. Anyways, so Russia seems to be doing fine here. They might go ahead and grab themselves 3 more provinces. Who is this? Oh, okay, that's a completely different country. Wow, I've never seen that country before. Alans? Okay. Well, they're not a part of the war, but you have to worry about them and their safety. Oh, they're allied to Poland, which is smart. I mean, Poland's the big one, so that's a good alliance to have to kind of fend off Russia. But I don't know how long that's gonna last exactly. All right, so here comes Turkey coming from the south. They have a 400 stack, almost a 450 stack here off of the Indian border. So they'll be able to fight back the Indians for quite a long time, unless, of course, India just decides to go up north and fight Russia. Then Turkey's in a pretty good situation. Actually, you know, if they're really smart about this and they have separate battles with all these separate regiments, then they're going to win. Well, I don't know if they're going to win completely, but they're going to win a several. Oh, here's a 250 stack. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to fight through a 78 stack, a 90 stack, a 73 stack, and then eventually the 250. I'm pretty sure this huge Turkish stack will be low on morale by that point. But then again, they've got a lot of troops. They've got a lot of troops. They're already going after Armenia. Boom. Okay, so they didn't lose much there from kind of the 40,000 Indian regiments. They didn't lose too much. Well, okay, so those guys are going to shatter. They didn't stack wipe them, which is important because those guys are going to come back. And I know that India has quite a bit of manpower reserved up within their continent. It's been a while since India's been at war. I think the last war they were involved in was the Arabian War. And actually, it was mainly Turkey that was doing most of the work. So it's interesting to see now these two once allied nations kind of go at it between each other. Yeah, so they're going to get Armenia out fast. Boom, they did. Just like that, Turkey just gained some land. Now, the problem is that Russia's done completely, so they can go after Turkey. Can they fight both India and Russia back? I don't know. They're also going to need open borders, which I'm sure they already do through Armenia since they're allied to each other. Technically, it's not the end for Armenia. They could get some of this land back, but what Turkey needs to do is they need to just sit here and defend their lands. Sit here and defend, which is entirely possible. Does Turkey have most of their stuff cored? Their gangs in the Arabian territory has been cored. Obviously, they don't have this stuff cored because they just grabbed it. If they could hold on to this would be pretty big. So, boom, the Armenians are forced to go back, which they had a pretty sizable force there. And I don't know if Russia's actually going to send anything over, although I think I think India can deal with Turkey by themselves. Obviously, if Russia does join in, then yeah, Turkey's got no chance. Ooh, but they're still rebuilding. They still are rebuilding. Ooh, a couple more wars that have popped up. So Mexico still decided to go to war with Costa Rica. Oh my goodness. We are missing one of the biggest wars probably one of the biggest wars. Man, I predicted that too. Peru's probably going to get some lands from the Netherlands. Mexico and Costa Rica. We'll have to keep an eye. More than likely, Turkey's not going to do so well here, but this is what I was talking about. Bam. So this, I'm not sure when it popped up, but this is the Independence War for the British West Indies. Now, the issue is that Germany is going to have to carry both Spain and France on their back, and that's going to be tough. This is not a mano-a-mano war. Well, actually, maybe it won't be as tough as we're thinking. Now, wait a second. Why do they have negative war score? Why is that? Blockades? Looks like it's mainly coming from blockades, which seems about right. Now, has the British West Indies, are they defending their coasts? So far, I see no British ships just yet. And also, how's Mexico? So, Mexico has open borders through Brazil. How is that possible? They hate each other. Well, Costa Rica is going to get eaten up here. And we've seen that countless times so far. Oh, that's another thing, is that revolutionary France ganged back 2 provinces because that's all the British wanted. Canada attacked the British. Canada got their butt kicked. And then the British were just like, all right, well, give revolutionary France its 2 provinces back, and that's it. So, if you root for revolutionary France, it's going to be all good. I know a few videos ago, it was a little bit scary. But looks like things are going to be okay. Boom, there you go. Now Spain in Iberia pushing back, occupying a few of the southern Iberian provinces that the British control. So that's some pretty big news too. Looks like Portugal is finally peaced out. Or they were black flagged, I'm not sure for how long. So Germany is going to have full control over all of British-controlled continental Europe. I'm wondering if they're going to start to head down south now. And look at that, boom, Germany building up even more regiments than just that. They are blockading Germany, but I know that Germany has somewhat of a navy, but not that amazing of a navy. I don't think they can keep up. Boom. There's even a task force going after Scandinavia. I didn't realize that. Are you going after Romania? And everything here. Ooh, I didn't realize you were also at war with Italy. And that's because that's an Italian... Britain and the British-Italian alliance is why that happened. So Germany's fighting multiple fronts right now. One in Scandinavia, one in the Italian peninsula, and then they're fighting for northern France. Just goes to show you how powerful this nation really is. Mexico's going to win there. Peru technically still doesn't have the war score for this. Russia doesn't either. That is weird. -17. Why? Where is that? By Norway. So just a lot of blockades. They're being blockaded all over the place, and that's just destroying war score. It's at least that's what it looks like from battle. Did they lose a lot of battles? -19 from battles. Well, either way, it doesn't matter because Germany's going to start to take it to the European Union, at least in the north here. They're going to win a whole bunch of battles. They're going to occupy a whole bunch of this stuff. They'll probably separate piece Italy soon, and I'm worried for Italy now because we've seen Germany take a lot of lands from northern Italian, the northern Italian region. Oh, I didn't know Genoa was also involved. Who's Genoa? Is Genoa part of the HRE or? Yeah. Oh, yeah. They must be. Oh, I didn't realize that. Didn't realize that till right now. Okay. Well, there you go. Okay, there goes the stack. Now they don't even have to worry about northern France anymore. Spain, I think, has this part of Britain covered up. So that means that Germany can completely focus on just 2 fronts. They were fighting 3 fronts for a while there. Maybe even 4. Maybe they might have been fighting all 4 sides because if Romania is sending troops through Polish lands, they could have been attacking eastern Germany, which would have been crazy because they're doing just fine. Yeah, they're doing just fine. Who is this? Britain controls this. I don't know how they got there. So here's an 84 stack. Luckily, they were able to get up that 84 stack, or at least they had that 84 stack stationed there before any of these strait crossings could be blocked. Now it is though, and Norway has a pretty big navy. But if you can occupy their capital and stuff like that, then they'll be making some progress. Costa Rica doing an amazing job so far. Let's go ahead and see how Turkey's holding up. Turkey's still rebuilding, and they are somewhat pushing. No, they're about to. This is close, actually. There's a 350 stack, but you got to be really careful of how you approach this. Oh, there's a huge battle. There you go. And India has the -2 terrain penalty. So they're going to win that, and that actually might deter the Indians from going in anymore. They're in Mosul. That's going to be a tough... Let's see, does India have any more reinforcements? Wow, technically Turkey's kind of keeping up here with fighting both India and Russia at the same time. It's mainly just India. But once this 200 stack gets there, it's going to be a lot more even. Oh, Russia's in the north. Okay, never mind. Yeah, this is going to be pretty one-sided very fast here. How do you not have these occupations? Oh, Turkey sent up another 120 stack. Dang. Turkey's got a huge army. I know that I've been kind of been overplaying Turkey for a while. But, I mean, I'm surprised. Spain, don't get distracted, dude. You're totally distracted right now. So there you go. Now the French troops can go down and either help Italy or specifically they should probably go help Spain out. Even though Spain should be able to deal with that 35 stack. Shouldn't be that big of an issue. The Egyptians are involved too. I didn't know that. Boom. And they're coming up from Sicily, from the boot of the Italian peninsula, and they're reinforcing Italy. Oh, that's bad. Senegal also involved, but they can't really contribute that much here. The war score it's still at -16. Even with Germany's help, it looks like Britain is going to hold on ever so slightly. Even with, they had Spain, France, and Germany. What else could you ask for? Maybe Germany can't fight Britain alone. If they can't even do it with France and Spain's help. Well, the problem would be that no one would be able to make a landing inside of Germany. That would be the issue. But they're going to have to back away from their northern front against the Scandinavian countries because they need to pull down support. Germany's definitely going to get a few provinces occupied. There's just no way they can keep up with all these sorts of different fronts and stuff like that. That's too complicated. Okay, so here's an Italian regiment that's going to get pushed back. Now, where do the Egyptians go? There are the Egyptians. Greece now occupying Corsica. Big old stack of Greek units. Egypt must have lost this battle. Wait a second, who's Poland at war with? Oh, there's a new war that just popped up. Yugoslavia and Albania. Now, what was the war? That sounds like it was Polish. Is a Polish-Albanian war. It's an offensive war declared by Poland. Right now, it's not going so well, and I don't know if they can reinforce, and maybe that's the issue. Maybe that is the big issue that they're having. Here comes Germany. They already control quite a bit of lands. Now, what Germany needs to do is they need to separate peace people. They need to start getting nations out one by one, specifically Italy, Egypt, and any Great British alliance. The EU will not leave because they're a vassal underneath Great Britain. So they need to at least not worry about Italy anymore. That's a big issue. Spain's helping out, but Spain shouldn't be... Oh, there you go. So the British troops inside of Iberia are gone. So that's a start. But is that everything? And they're probably going to grab a hold of these lands, but still negative 22 war score. And it looks like a lot from battles. So, you know, what might be happening, too, is they might be losing a lot of naval battles. Those are what really tip the war score on a certain side. Bam, Mexico's already peaced out with Costa Rica, so they'll get Panama soon. And then they'll be bordering, once again, I guess, Brazil. Wait a second. Brazilian Mexico, this is a colony? Oh, my goodness. No way. This is a colony of Brazil. Wow. How did that happen? I have no idea, but there you go. It's a colony. So that is going to affect a lot here. It's funny because I was just about to refer to this region that Brazil controlled, you know, kind of Brazilian Mexico, even though this technically, this is more Guatemalan region, I believe. Yeah, it is. Well, not just Guatemala, but yeah. Anyways, there you go. That's pretty funny because I almost called it Brazilian Mexico, and that's what it was. It is Brazilian Mexico. Pakistan's back at war. Ooh, they call China in on their side. The Saudis. Bangladesh is about to get messed up because I believe China does border Bangladesh, right? They technically do, and they're coming in right now because the Indians gave the Chinese open borders, which at this point you kind of just need to do whatever they want. Visually speaking, this might be... Oh, this is going to be pretty one-sided, unless, of course, the Saudis find a way to get over there, which, since China has open borders through India, means the Saudis do also. So they might be able to help out a little bit. They might be able to help out a tiny, tiny bit. Ooh, Turkey's not doing so well now. How much war score does Russia have? Russia has -4. Jeez, I don't know how. And Poland's not doing so well. Peru is actually not doing well for going after the Netherlands at all. Well, there you go. Factors, outside factors, I think is going to cause Germany to lose this war. So, technically speaking, I mean, I know that Great Britain and Germany were at war for a split second in the past, but this is kind of the first major conflict between these two nations. Technically speaking, the British won. Their agenda was accomplished. But anyways, guys, I'm going to have to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.